Hi, everyone. I'm Josh Brown. Welcome to Live from the Compound. I'm here with Michael Batnick. We're about to play our favorite game, What Are Your Thoughts? Michael doesn't know what I'm going to ask him, and I don't know what he's going to ask me. Stick around. We'll see what's happening. Mike, I'm going first. The S&P 500 Total Return Index printed an all-time record high earlier this week. This morning, the NASDAQ 100 followed suit, which does not pay any dividends. And I think the message of that is there are a lot of different ways to win in the market, one of which is owning high-octane growth stocks, NASDAQ names, and one is just casually accumulating dividends, having them reinvested. Why do we have such a huge fight about value versus growth if you can do both as an investor? Is it a made-up fight? What are your thoughts?
Loaded question. You can buy high growth stocks when they're working. They don't always work.
Right.
The last 5 years, 10 years has been extraordinary.
The last 10 years, they've worked better than
if you've
anything.
been a deep value investor, the last 10 years have sucked. So not
Correct.
everything works all the time. But I think that it's personal. It's subjective. People are very protective about their tastes in general.
Right.
Whether it's TV, politics, religion, investing, whatever, it's personal. So I'm not surprised that there's.
So they have like this preconceived idea of what they are, and then they just everything that
it's tribal. What I do is better than what you do.
Okay. So, but if you're just collecting dividends and you own value stocks in the S&P, you might not have kept pace with the index, but there's a chance that you're at a new high right now just from doing that, even though you haven't made as much as maybe you could have.
Yes, but we know that wealth and investing, it's relative. It's not necessarily absolute. So if you're up 150%, but the index is up 215%, you still feel like a loser. All right, Disney Plus.
Yes.
So this is something that
All in.
this has been well telegraphed, right? This was not necessarily, the world was not shocked by this, but the stock market was, or Disney stock in particular was.
Because there was such a big reaction, people acted like they never knew it was coming.
It was like a 10% gap higher to new all-time highs on the day of. It seems like just another lesson.
All right, so let me give you my take. I think that news tends to follow price. There are obviously cases where it doesn't.
Yeah, but this is not that.
No, I actually think that's exactly what this is. This is a stock that's been consolidating for almost 5 years. It fell in the spring of 2015. It fell on bad news about ESPN, and it's taken 5 years for the market to digest that. In the meantime, almost every other part of their business has been on absolute fire. They're about to release The Avengers, which we talked about last time, which could be, I read one estimate, $900 million global the first weekend. So you see the stock price trending higher. You see that the lows are higher lows, and then you see it right back to resistance where it had struggled 3 or 4 times in the past at about 118, 120. The market was anticipating a good response to the rollout on Investor Day of the Disney Plus app, and then when it got it, people that were on the fence or had a half a position on or were waiting for the right moment, everyone all at once said, you know what, forget it, I'm all in. Even Rich from BTIG, who's been a notable bear on Netflix and has been neutral on Disney or a sell rating on Disney, even he threw in the towel. He's like, Iger did it. There's nothing left to argue about whether or not Disney will be successful.
But hold on, I'm very confused. News follows price in the overall market, right?
No, individual stocks. Individual stocks.
I don't understand. The news came out that Disney Plus happened, and then the stock moved.
The only thing that was newsworthy in the Disney Plus announcement was
the pricing.
Were 2 things.
Pricing.
They're gonna undercut Netflix by 50%. $6.99 a month is incredible, and as I said, everyone's paying. And B,
But so this is not a Netflix story. It has nothing to do with Netflix. People are not going to stop or not going to migrate away from Netflix into Disney.
no, but it'll make
It's so cheap that it allows you to do both.
it'll make the next 10 million ads for Netflix difficult.
All right, so what's B?
B is that they're going to do a bundle and include ESPN and include Hulu, and I don't know if you want to call it a skinny bundle. It's a Disney bundle, but they're going to allow you to get these other services for a little bit more.
All right, so I disagree with you on this. The price followed the news.
No, the price reacted. I'm not arguing that. I'm not saying you're wrong about that. But I'm saying you wouldn't be within 1 or 2 points of the old resistance, poised, coiled like a spring.
Okay, fine.
If people didn't expect a great rollout, and they got a great rollout, and that was confirmation.
You don't think that could have been coincidental?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I think Wall Street is smarter than we give it credit for sometimes. And in this case, the street was ready for this. I mean, that's my take. What I want to ask you about Chinese stocks. I don't know I know you're paying attention, but I don't know how closely you're paying attention. The Shenzhen, the Shanghai, both of them are up like 30% year to date. The Hang Seng, which always seems to lag, is Hong Kong-based stocks. That's up 15 or 16% year to date. Almost no one is talking about this massive rally in China stocks. It's not an all-time high for these indices, but it's a multi-year high, and it's not just 5 Chinese technology stocks. It seems to be hospitality companies, banks, like from all segments of the Chinese economy. What are your thoughts? What does it mean? Should people start to get excited now, or is it like another thing where, hey, you missed it? It was a trend.
I don't know anything about China or the Chinese stock market. However, holy moly, it has gone like vertical off the bottom.
Vertical. Yeah. And that's in a trade war. What happens when the trade war gets resolved? Does the trade end? How much of this is wall of worry? Let me throw one other thing at you that not a lot of people are talking about. Our friend Brendan from CraneShares keeps us up to date on this. MSCI has now made China a much, much bigger part of their emerging market index, which means people that are buying EM index products are, by default, buying more Chinese companies. And I doubt that'll reverse and go back the other way.
Emerging markets as a whole are working. Obviously, China's a big part of that. EM ETFs are at multi-month highs. So,
China's a third of the EM index.
Highest since the summer of 2018. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. What do you got?
Is April just an underrated month? Like
weather?
I
love April.
Just in general, we have NBA playoffs. We had the Masters. We have Game of Thrones
baseball starts.
And baseball. And
Yeah, it's a great month.
Great month.
So my only issue with April as a suburban dad is it's the beginning of my kids' little league and travel baseball, and half the events get rained out. Whatever you schedule, you do it with a smile on your face, knowing that you're gonna need makeup dates for everything. So you miss practices, you miss games, tournament rained out. Like a lot of planning goes into this stuff, and it's gone. Other than that, it's like one of my favorite times of year. Maybe my favorite time of year. So I don't know if it's underrated.
I like September because it's like football season, but April's pretty good.
So I get depressed in September.
Nah, you get depressed every month.
True. Oh, this is what I want to ask you about. Speaking of my moods, have I been a huge dick lately?
Glad you said it.
Wait, I didn't even get a chance to explain. I got out of the hospital. I started taking 40 milligrams of prednisone a day, which is a medical steroid. And then I went down to 30, and then I went down to 20.
Are you trying to apologize?
Well, it's a month on steroids, and everyone I know just fucking hates me right now.
I accept.
So you agree?
I accept.
But am I getting a little bit better than I was, let's say, I started tapering. Is it getting better?
I don't think so.
Are you going to kill me before this ends?
So
my last steroid dose is tomorrow. I'm done.
That's great.
I'm free.
Remember December, sticking with months as a theme of this episode?
Yeah, is December underrated?
No. It's properly rated as a shit month. But all right, let's put ourselves back on December 24th. Or no, 25th was the bottom. Or 24th. Either way.
Christmas Eve,
Christmas.
my friend.
Okay.
Christmas Eve, I bought stocks that day. December 24th.
That's not what this platform is for.
I'm just saying.
Nope.
That was the bottom. And I didn't think it was the bottom.
All right. Anywho.
Yeah.
Here we are.
How much is the S&P off the Christmas Eve low?
Well, if you
25%?
If you lose $100, you have to make $100 to make it back.
You have to make more than you lost.
Did you know that? That's math.
I'm aware.
So we are.
If $10 drops to $5, you have to double your money to make back a 50% loss.
We're
I think we're up 25%.
24% off the lows.
24%.
Amazing. Why? Explain it.
I guess it's safe to say Santa. I don't know. What? There's no reason. Nothing's changed from then to now, other than the Fed being like, "Oops, we're not going to raise rates again." I don't know. When you look at employment numbers, there's no change in trend.
Hold that thought, because I've got something for you on that. But
okay.
There's been a lot of tariff talk, like trade easing sort of stuff.
Yeah, but it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Well, a deadline came and went, and the world didn't blow up. But other than that, there's no progress. And actually, we still haven't even figured out the Mexico-Canada stuff, which Congress has to ratify. And that's not till the end of this year. That has to take place this year, and it hasn't yet. So I don't know that there's like a Chinese solution, but maybe what's actually happening is the markets, China included, have said, you know what, this is not great, but maybe we thought it would be worse than it is. I don't know. I mean, day to day, why is the market doing what it's doing is like put a bullet in your head. It's the dumbest conversation, but here it is.
That's aggressive.
How could you know?
Out of
I'll
that.
tell you in hindsight.
All right.
I'll tell you in hindsight. I want to get back to NBA playoffs. I'm curious what you think is the best storyline happening this year, aside from LeBron not being in it, because I know you love to root against him. Like, what do you think is like the best series, or is there anything about round one so far that you think is interesting?
Yes. Nice to see Ben Simmons bounce back from just an embarrassingly awful performance in Game 1. I can't believe that the Clippers came back. Biggest comeback ever in NBA history. They've done 31 points.
Guy?
Who, Lou Williams?
I mean, Lou Williams. Who is this guy?
I didn't know he was this good. Like
Nobody knew.
His stats have been decent over the years. Like, but I thought that he was just like a high octane guy off the bench, like instant offense type of guy, like maybe like Eddie House. But he's like way better. But
he just took the game over.
And Pat Beverly and Gallinari, who I was sad when we let him go. It's great. I terrific, a lot of fun.
Is there a guy that does?
Oh, I feel bad for Boogie. That's awful.
What, oh yeah, he's what is that, torn quad? He's done.
He's gone.
Does that happen every NBA playoffs where somebody comes out of nowhere and makes a name for themselves, or is this pretty rare?
Not really. I'm happy for Ennis. 20 points, 18 rebounds in Game 1. Who the Knicks chased out of town.
Are any of these gonna be easy? I feel like the Portland series looks like it'll be easy just because they're the only 2-0.
No. I think that Oklahoma City can win 2 games. I think
it's not going to be as easy as it's looked so far.
I don't think so. I think that the Raptors are probably going to win in 5.
Boston Pacers. I haven't watched any of that.
That might be a sweep.
Yeah,
Bucks are going to crush. All right, let's move on.
The Brooklyn Sixers game matchup to me is most interesting because now I'm like a fake Brooklyn fan, but I feel like that one could go all the way. Like that could be the most exciting one.
How often do you look at excuse me? How often do you look at economic data?
Like every minute. How else do you trade, bro? No, I don't. Like what? I read. You know what I do? I stopped everything. I just do the Daily Shot from Wall Street Journal. It's the best.
That's a lot. It's very good. It's a lot.
It's so good. I only want charts and data. I don't want opinions. So,
if you asked me what was going on with like housing or jobless claims or non-farm payrolls or stuff, like I think I know it's going in the right direction, but I probably couldn't give you that much.
Yeah, that's why you're a good investor. Well, imagine you were paying really close attention to that stuff, and it was causing you to change your investments. It's like that. It's so much worse than knowing nothing. Think about the guys that are like these macro experts. They're idiots. They're like day trading based on economic data. Like the most reasonable thing is to say, I try to keep informed about the economy. I don't know better than anyone else, and I'm not going to react to 99% of what I see. Like, isn't that a more reasonable take for a normal person?
Yep.
And then if there's like 10 people in the world that are good enough to make huge trades based on macro, they should do that. That's not going to be me. Oh, I shouldn't say I only do the Daily Shot. I love Bill McBride's blog, Calculated Risk. It takes like 3 minutes to read a post, if that, but he knows the right thing to tell you almost each day. Like, he doesn't burden you with 50 things to look at. He'll just be like, here's employment today. Tomorrow we'll do mortgage applications. The next day we'll do housing. And do you need more? I don't really need any more. All right, that's all I got. You got anything else?
No.
Okay, let's tell them how they can leave comments.
Be nice.
Let us know what your thoughts are. Have I been a terrible person recently? Is it coming across in these shows?
It's definitely coming across in this office, I'll tell you that.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize to everyone. I think I was way harder on Chris than you, though. All right, leave us a comment, please. If you like what we're doing here, shoot us those likes. You know we live for those likes. Leave us your feedback. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we will see you soon.